everywhere, there is a big commotion, a grinding tongue. A trail of blood leads to the village ahead. Fear and panic in every street, Durial321, souls, death and destruction. Follow dark tremors and fearful delusion. Violence and blood are now the norm. All of our in complete panic. The monks can't ban him anymore. His green body that shines like a relic. Durial's lust for murder continues. There was no honor anywhere to be found. Everything was chaos on a deafening. The monks were anxiously searching, their power now unpaid. The scream heard from far away, the pain burned with every step. No refuge to be found here, Durial's scream was like a spark. All of Fallador in complete panic. The mobs can't ban him anymore. His green body that shines like a relic. Durial's lust for murder continues. There was no honor anywhere to be found. Everything was chaos, sounded deafening. The mods ran anxiously searching, the power now unpaid. The scream heard from far away, the pain burned with every step. No more refuge to be found here. The real scream was like a spark. All of Fallador in complete panic. The monks can't ban him anymore. His green party hat shines like a relic. Durial's lust for murder continues.
In 2006, er liggen lekken overal te zien. Die Remington klinkt een groot gestoef, een bloedspoorlijn naar die plek van steen. Vrees en paniek in elke straat, Durial in zijn buurt zaait dood en verderf. Fallador trilt in angstig gewaad, geweld en bloed zijn nu de norm. Veel Fallador in complete paniek, de mods kunnen hem niet meer bannen. Zijn gruwele party al klinkt als een reliek, Durial's moeder blijft doorgaan. Hier was er nergens meer te vinden, alles was chaos, concours verdovend. De mods rennen angstig zoekend, hun macht nu onbetaalden. Het gillen op het horen van ver, de pijn brandde bij elke stap. Geen toevlucht weer te vinden hier. Durial schreeuw was als een volk. Heel vallen door in complete paniek. De mods kunnen hem niet meer bannen. Zijn groene partyhand blinkt als een reliek. Durial's modder blijft doorgaan. Heel vallen door in complete paniek. De mods kunnen hem niet meer bannen. Zijn groene partyhand blinkt als een reliek. Durial's modder blijft doorgaan.
Yo, kijkers, welkom terug bij een nieuwe livestream hier op Tom Houseketten. Wij gaan vandaag weer lekker verder doen met oldschool RuneScape update restricties. Wij gaan vandaag weer lekker verder doen. Alright, je ziet mij hier staan met de Demonic Throne. Het is gelukt. Eindelijk, ik ben 1 level nog omhoog gegaan met Construction. En dan heb ik dus de Demonic Throne kunnen boosten. Dat is niet alles zoals je ziet. Ik heb ook een Fire Cape gehaald. Was nodig. En onze Spiral Stairs die omhoog kan. Up. En dat is voorlopig het meeste van die update. Dus die update is achter de rug, vind ik. Ik vind hem prima geweest. Ik dacht dat Durial online ging zijn, maar misschien komt dat straks nog wel. We gaan ook even onze muziek aanzetten. Alright. Ik vind dat mijn microfoon niet goed staat. Maar iets anders. We gaan verder doen met de vorige update. Ik heb off-cam natuurlijk ook een beetje Void gedaan. Dus dat gingen we doen. We zien wel wanneer dat Durial online komt. Als we onze Void hebben, ga ik de documentaire laten zien. Over wat er toen is gebeurd op 666. Met of zonder Durial. Ik wil hem eigenlijk in mijn POH even laten, want dat heeft er te veel mee te maken. Maar ik denk niet dat hij komt.
The ship arrives at the Void Night Outpost.
Oké, dankjewel. Dus, naar welke wereld moeten we ook alweer? Wereld 344. Slayer heb ik ook getraind. Het is net geen level omhoog, dus helaas. Breng die maar. We gaan hoppen naar 344. Best control, hoppa. Want we moeten nog 50 puntjes halen, dus dat wil zeggen 10 keer winnen. Dit heb ik vroeger zoveel gedaan, hè.
Curious on gold prices.
Nee, ik ben niet curious on gold prices, shut the fuck up.
1 million discorded times GG/rating. Lowest rates on the market.
Het zal wel.
Huge holiday s.a.l.e discorded times GG/rating. Over 8,000 plus positive reviews and 30,000 plus customers. Discorded times GG/rating.
Shit, onze... Ik weet niet, je moet iets van 60 punten halen. We zitten erover. Mooi. Ze komen allemaal naar hier, dus dit is de laatste. Nee, West moet ook nog. Oh, ja, hij is open. Oké. Nu nog naar het westen. Ik ben zo blij met mijn Fire Cape, ja. Echt. Hoppakee.
Congratulations. You must defend the Void Knight while the portals are unsummoned. The ritual takes 20 minutes though, so you can help out by destroying them yourselves.
Oké.
Now go go go.
Spinner. Hij is al neer. Hoppa, genoeg. Duurt lang. East is down. Mooi. Maar die was al down. Nu alleen nog West. Kunnen we nog niet aanvallen. Oeps. Oké.
Congratulations.
You now have 710.
Don't look at me, I'm just a frog. Don't look at me, I'm just a frog. Ribbit. Ribbit.
Stomme. Stomme kikker.
100% prize match guarantee. Unbeatable rates for 07 gold Discord times GG/ready.
You must defend the Void Knight while the portals are unsummoned. The ritual takes 20 minutes though, so you can help out by destroying them yourselves.
Oké.
Now go go go.
Tien. 10. Oh jee, de green die is verkocht. Van mijn elf task. Oké, Southwest.
Congratulations. You managed to destroy all the portals. You must defend the Void Knight while the portals are unsummoned. The ritual takes 20 minutes though, so you can help out by destroying them yourselves. Now go go go.
Ah, kom op. 22. Krijg de volgende laag natuurlijk. Deze. Toeperepoem. Oké, en nu de andere.
Congratulations.
Lowest rates on the market. Huge
27.
holiday.a.l.e discorded times GG/redeem. Over 8,000
Volgende
plus
zitten we op de
positive
helft.
reviews and 30,000 plus customers. Discorded times GG/redeem. Want help on Quiver, Blood Torva, Inferno Cape. We got you Discorded times GG/redeem.
Hurry up!
Just wanna browse our accounts. Zerkers, mains, pures, and more Discorded times GG/redeem. 100% price match guarantee. Unbeatable rates for 07 gold Discorded times GG/redeem. Busy working hard at your in real life job?
You must defend the Void Knight while the portals are unsummoned. The ritual takes 20 minutes though, so you can help out by destroying them yourselves. Now go.
Oké.
Congratulations. You managed to destroy all the portals. We have awarded you 5 Void Knight commendation points.
Mooi.
Please also accept these coins as a reward.
Best
You
points.
must defend the Void Knight while the portals are unsummoned. The ritual takes 20 minutes though, so you can help out by destroying them yourselves. Now go.
I'm going. Van die A, daar. Shit. 40. Spinner. Oké. Oké, Southwest.
Congratulations. You managed to destroy all the portals. You must defend the Void Knight while the portals are
20
unsummoned.
puntjes.
The ritual takes 20
nog
minutes
4
though, so you can
wins.
help out by destroying them yourselves. Now go go go.
Portal aanvallen. Boom.
Congratulations. You managed to destroy all the portals. We have awarded you 5 Void Knight commendation points. Please also accept these coins as a reward.
Over 8,000 plus positive reviews and 30,000 plus customers. Discord times GG/reading.
You must defend the Void Knight while the portals are unsummoned. The ritual takes 20 minutes though, so you can help out by destroying them yourselves. Now go go go.
Oh, deze is weer de laatste natuurlijk. Hoppa. De Knight heeft nog maar de helft van zijn HP. Maakt niet uit. Hoppa, gewonnen.
Congratulations. You managed to destroy all the portals.
Curious on gold prices. It can go as low as 12 cents for 1 million discorded times GG/Reddit.
Yo, Reddit. Oké, over de 100 genoeg. Afvallen.
All on P.
Waarom valt iemand portal aan? What the fuck? Aha. Boom.
Congratulations.
Of heb ik
You
dus?
managed to destroy all the...
Laatste ronde.
Browse our accounts. Circuits, mains, pures, and more discorded times GG/Reddit.
Direct een goeie. Oké, 12 damage. 15. 14. 19. Ik hoop dat dat genoeg is. En anders zo, hoppakee, over de 100, prima. Tudurudu. Hoppa, zuidwest nog. Portal.
Congratulations. You managed to destroy all the portals.
You now have 750 Void Knight commendation points. You can speak to a Void Knight to exchange your points for rewards.
Ja, zal ik doen ook. Don't worry about. Hier zo. Dus, de gloves hebben we. Even de guide erbij halen. De top. Kan ik die niet allemaal? Nee. Nou. Hoppa.
Collection log slot
Collection log slot
completed.
A screenshot
rope.
was saved to c:\users\tom\tom.
Collection log slot completed.
En de
A
maze.
screenshot was saved to c.
Collection log
The
slot
Void Knight has given you a Void
completed.
Knight maze. Remaining Void Knight commendation points, 0.
A screenshot was saved to c:\runelite/users/tom/.runelite/screenshots/yogozunSwu/collection log Void Knight Maze 2025-0330_19-26-52.png.
Welke wereld was mijn homeworld? 373? Ja. Gaming. Allemaal gaming. Alleen er is geen helm van. Voorlopig. Ik ga zo wat rondlopen. Ja, goed. Dat wil zeggen dat we deze update volledig af hebben. Of toch bijna. Er is nog één dingetje wat ik moet doen. Hij is niet online. Ja, oeps.
The ship arrives at Port Sarim.
Dus ik ga eventjes in mijn eigen huisje zitten. En dan gaan we een documentaire kijken. What about that? Niet building mode. Gewoon home. Ja, hier zijn we weer. Ja. Void Night. Hoppakee. Ik zie er prachtig uit. Maar goed, we gaan even naar een ander schermpje. En mijn muziek uitzetten. Dat is irritant dan. De regel laat het maar zijn. Maar goed, ik moet even het dingetje openzetten. Hoppakee. Fullscreen, muziek, geluid aan. Maar ik moet ook natuurlijk mijn scherm delen. En dan gaan we hier naar kijken. Alright.
Events like the Falador massacre in 2006 will forever be a part of RuneScape history.
A ticket came in, it said someone's running around Falador killing people.
The Falador massacre is one of the most well-known events to have ever happened in RuneScape.
Bro, this open world PvP, people are getting killed outside your house.
This is Durial321.
One of the most extreme versions of bug abuse was the Falador massacre.
In a way, this video doesn't need an introduction. The 6th of June 2006, the Falador Massacre. One of the most infamous glitches in RuneScape history. The day that the most popular free MMO in the world saw players cut down in cities, in places they had always thought were safe. The official documentary, the official history book, its own space on Wikipedia, even being canonized in the lore and having official in-game events to commemorate the 10-year anniversary. People have talked about and referenced the massacre extensively. Heck, you've probably already watched a mini documentary about it before. So what else is there to say on what is probably the most documented event in RuneScape's long history? What can I tell you that countless of YouTube videos and player interviews haven't already? Well, I never make a video unless I can tell you something new on the topic. And after months of collaborating with the Jagex themselves, getting the inside scoop, and diving through every other piece of media made about the massacre, we're finally ready to give you the whole story. Time to buckle up and bank your items, because it's time to unravel the 16 years of history that have piled up since the events of the Falador massacre. Our tale begins back in 2002, somewhere in the mythical fantasy land known as New Zealand. 12-year-old Lincoln has heard about this new, cool game called RuneScape and decides to sign up to it. A novel medieval adventure game designed by a trio of nerdy British brothers with a sense of wit and charm that you don't really see in other MMOs of the time. The vast world is the perfect place for a 12-year-old to get lost in, and blissfully unaware of where this road would take him, Lincoln finishes punching in his details and is ready to enter the world of Gielinor for the first time. Lincoln, who you probably know better as Cursed You, his in-game name, is quickly hooked by RuneScape and starts putting in some serious hours. He's eventually joined by his close friend, Josh, who calls himself Cursed You, with a 0 instead of an O. The duo play together and call themselves the Cursed You Brothers, since their names kind of look similar if you squint hard enough. Lincoln quickly falls down the PvP rabbit hole, becoming an avid player killer who raises his stats and improves his gear solely to get better at taking down other players. He finds a good amount of success in this path and becomes relatively rich quite quickly. When RuneScape 2 was released in March 2004, introducing the duel arena alongside it, Lincoln turned away from the wilderness and went all in on staking, 1v1 matches with some heavy bets on the line for the winner. Now, in 2004, most stakes were done through magic rather than melee or ranged. Lincoln already had decent PvP skills from his time before the duel arena, but he could get an even bigger advantage if he raised his magic level to the max. In fact, he discovered that he could get 250 XP per game tick by carefully using the charge spell, available to everyone at level 80 magic. With the wealth behind him to buy all the supplies he needs, he quickly achieves 99 magic in early 2004, becoming the 254th person to hit the milestone. Now, with only 254 people at 99 magic, and only a fraction of them actually using the skill to stake, it's not hard to guess that Lincoln did very well for himself at the duel arena. If you knew what to do, staking was an incredible moneymaker, and Lincoln sure as hell knew what he was doing. The only thing he didn't know was what he was going to do with all the money he'd made. That is, until a little birdie told the 14-year-old Lincoln how much his RuneScape gold was worth on certain sites. Lincoln started offloading some of his excess wealth to third-party sites, turning his gaming habit into an actual real-life moneymaker. Highly against the RuneScape rules if you weren't aware, but somehow Lincoln scraped by on just temporary mutes or bans, never receiving anything permanent. This might come as a surprise to you, but giving a 14-year-old a slap on the wrist when they do something wrong generally doesn't stop them from doing it again. And so, the staking proceeds kept making him richer in real life, selling gold for about 17,000 New Zealand dollars, equal to about 10,000 US dollars in 2006. And whilst his throwaway account got banned after selling everything it had, his main account remained active and looking innocent in the eyes of Jagex. Now, Lincoln wasn't offloading everything through his alts. When you have that much money, why not pimp out your account? So he dumped some of his wealth into buyable skills, achieving pretty respectable results, such as rank 318 prayer with a level of 91, and rank 109 crafting with a level of 95. It's just a shame that he started to train those skills so much later than everyone else. If he'd been able to grind the buyable skills from their release, he'd probably have been able to snag a few rank 1 positions on the leaderboard. Wouldn't that be funny? Anyway, you'll never guess what they released on the 31st of May 2006. Construction, the hottest new skill on the market, released on a Wednesday as far as jagex were concerned. But that UK to New Zealand time zone meant that it dropped on a Thursday night for poor Lincoln. A school night, no less. The burdens of real life stopped him from securing an early lead, but he certainly put in the work, buying up as many resources as he could from the World 2 trading hotspots. He had the materials, he just needed the time. By the time he hit 65 construction, he was rank 35 on the high scores. That's not that far from rank 1. It actually seemed doable. It was time to go all in. Gerust sold 2 party hats from his collection to fund his construction supply, giving him 250 mil in liquid assets. This wasn't just enough for 99, this was enough to splurge on it. Gerust opted to build mahogany tables, using a butler to turn logs into planks for him. A very expensive but very fast method. Beyond this, he also recruited 3 friends to buy any and all mahogany planks they saw being traded on the public market. This wasn't just to increase his supply, this was to ensure his competition wouldn't have any for themselves. While 3 people weren't going to be enough to monopolize the market, they were enough to put a huge dent in it. As he stormed to level 78, he still only had half the XP that rank 1 had accumulated in this time. Both Monkey Mojo and Noobfrey had 3.2 million XP to Gerust's humble 1.7, and there was no doubt that they also had surplus cash of their own to throw around. Gerust was fast, but he had an education and a bedtime to slow him down. There was no way he'd been able to do this alone. So it's a good thing he wasn't alone. He was one half of the Gerust brothers, remember? So over the weekend he brought in Josh to work in shifts. While Lincoln slept, Josh would keep playing, keeping the grind going until Lincoln awoke the next morning and took over again. 24 hours a day of non-stop efficient training over the weekend. Now his competition were the ones who couldn't keep up. As he reached level 88, Gerust hit rank 1 on the high scores for the first time. The end was in sight. He just had to keep the momentum going. Lincoln pleaded with his parents to let him take a few days off school to do this. If he could train all day, the rank was his for sure. But if he couldn't, his foes would have a chance to overtake him. Upon hearing their child ask to take time off school to spend the day playing video games, his parents looked at each other, did the responsible thing and said, yes. Who knows why they let him do it? Maybe they knew about his real-world trading earnings and thought of it as him working overtime at a job. But whatever the reason, it cemented his ultimate fate in unchangeable stone. Now that his name was up in lights at the coveted rank 1 position, a lot of eyes fell on Gerust. And this was during the RuneScape golden era. Who was this kid who came out of nowhere? How did they overthrow the competition so quickly? Can I see his house? The average player in 06 didn't really understand the game, especially when compared to the modern knowledge we have of its mechanics. Everyone had just assumed that rank 1 construction meant that you had the coolest house in the game and had pimped it out to the max. Gerust's house was just a collection of empty rooms, with naught but a single mahogany table that was being destroyed and rebuilt over and over. He didn't need anything else. That would be, dare I say, XP waste. Of course, it wasn't just adoring fans trying to get in touch with Gerust, cheering him on or begging to see his ultra-cool Omega house. His competition slid into the PMs to ask when he was ever going to log out, or how big his bank was, because theirs was definitely bigger. If you had 500 mil, they had 501 mil, that sort of thing. RuneScape was really just a kid's playground back in the day, huh? The race was a lot closer than Gerust would have liked, however. Even after the day spent no-lifing the skill, his rank 1 position was dangerously close to being overthrown. What's worse, as he reached level 96, he was forced to take a break. Not by his parents, mind you. They were happy for him to sink all day into the game. It was by his clan, DI, who were threatening to kick him out if he didn't join them on a PKing trip. Just ignore the fact that he was racing for a historic milestone, I guess. RuneScape really was just a kid's playground back in the day. This actually gave Kirstu a reason to spruce up his house, however. Since everyone would want to have a look at it after the clan event finished, he threw up some minor furniture as decorations for the party he'd be hosting. This didn't last long, however, since he really needed to get back to training, and he forcibly kicked out all the PKers from his house party.
Sometimes foreshadowing is relatively obvious.
This PKing trip could quite easily have cost him the race. But once again, fate intervened, and he not only kept his rank 1 position, he finally gave himself a buffer. By level 98, he was 1.2 million XP ahead of rank 2, and him being the first to 99 was basically a given. With his future achievement locked in, he wasted no time preparing to celebrate. Since you can't invite people to your house in building mode, Kirstu decided to make flat packs to get the last few drops of XP with his friends and clanmates around. With a few planks and a couple clicks, Kirstu became the only person in RuneScape with 99 construction, to a small and intimate audience that didn't overwhelm his computer in the slightest.
Sometimes foreshadowing is...
With his achievement immortalized in screenshots, Kirstu opened the house to the masses of people who had been requesting a private tour of the residence for days. Calls to action were posted on all the popular fan sites and official forums, telling people to subscribe to Will Miss It and to hit the bell to be notified of all future uploads. Or, as he put it, feel free to drop by right now. I'm on World 111 with chat on. Remington, by the way. So, everyone remembers the massacre as taking place on the 6th of the 6th of the 6th. It's catchy, good optics, yada yada yada. But Kirstu is from New Zealand. That's so far off the side of the world that half the maps don't even include it. So the time zones have gotten pretty muddy here over the years. Some people say the party took place on the 5th, some say the 6th, some say the 7th. The uploader of the original Falador Massacre video claims the party was held at 7 PM Australian time, which would be about 10 AM in the UK. But GELIJK staff claimed they were woken up at 2 AM to try and fix the resulting issues, so that doesn't match up. Luckily, we don't have to guess. Kirstu's party invitation was posted at 11:09 PM UTC, 1 hour prior to GELIJK's time zone, placing the party at just past midnight in the UK on the 6th of June 2006, and still on the 5th of June for our American friends. Funnily enough, Lincoln gave his buddy Josh absolutely no credit for all the hours he put in on construction during those late nights. He couldn't risk getting banned during his own party.
Foreshadowing.
Partygoers rushes to the house, building up quite an audience in a very short period of time. In only minutes, hundreds of players poured in, all eager to see the construction king and the castle he had made. One such player was the also 16-year-old Brian hailing from the United States. Brian was pretty much a nobody, really. Just your average RuneScape player at the time. A super cool teenager who was into metal music and video games, unlike any other 16-year-old at the time. He'd actually got into RuneScape because of a friend of his, Voodoo Legion, who'd he met previously on a different game. Brian first tried out RuneScape in May 2005, making his first account, which you all probably guessed the name of. That's right, it was S2Cell. Early on, he died to a scorpion and lost all of his items, and decided to make a brand new account instead of rebuilding. From that point on, Brian would go by a new name, one that would go down in the history books forever. I mean, let's be real here. You almost certainly know Brian by a different name. That one being Durial321 quickly fell in love with PKing, just as Kirstu had done all those years ago. If he wasn't in the wilderness, he was training his combat skills or preparing to jump back into it. Voodoo Legion eventually introduced him to Evolution X, a large PKing clan that had built up a good reputation in the community. They had weekly events where they would do things like kill all the players at the Wilderness Greater Demons. Before the addition of obelisks in April 2006, let them spread their reign of terror over the entire wilderness. This was still 2006, so no one was crazy at it or anything, but Durial definitely knew how to PK, and he certainly had a taste for it. And sure enough, in the early evening of the 5th of June 2006 US time, Durial was sitting on TeamSpeak with some of his friends when one of them, Alien, told him to come visit a house party in World 111, the Australian homeworld. Kirstu was the first person to hit 99 construction and was hosting a massive party that everyone was going to. So, sure enough, Durial decided to hop over and see what all the fuss was about. Interestingly enough, Cursed You had made a dungeon, a floor of the house where people could fight each other when PvP was turned on. Showing up with some basic gear he was wearing at the time, he stepped through the Remington portal and got to partying. And by partying, I mean bashing other people's faces in. Perfectly safe, of course. You didn't lose anything if you died in the dungeon. It was just for fun. You'd just re-enter the house, climb back downstairs and start all over again. That's all it was ever meant to be. A place for safe, friendly PvP. Now, when I said everyone was at the party, out of the 1,200 players online in the world, Cursed You would in later years estimate that 800 of them were all at the party. RuneScape Worlds could reasonably hold up to 2,000 people spread across the map without too much trouble. But if you had a lot of people in one place, such as the 800 attendees cramped inside Cursed You's home, things started to chug. And oh boy, was it starting to lag. About 30 minutes past midnight UK time, Durial, barely able to see what was going on, died in the dungeon and respawned outside, before re-entering and made his way over to the throne room to see what the magic ball thing was. And as he gets to it, the screen freezes completely. A loading message appears in the top left of the corner, and before he knows it, he's back in Remington, outside the house portal. So was everyone. Cursed You had kicked all several hundred players from his house in a desperate attempt to stop the lag. His house was now only open to his friends, some of which joined him back inside, eager to keep the party going as a small gathering that only the cool kids could partake in. Little did they know, this was the only safe place left in the entire game. When you have several hundred players all in one area, it can be hard to see what's going on. The game lags, the minimap is filled with white dots, and the main game is covered by an endless sea of players obscuring everything. But something's not right. Some players have health bars, and they're going down. Maybe they're being attacked by a random event or something. No, they've only just left the house. Nothing should be attacking them just yet. Trying to figure out what's going on, Durial clicks into the ocean of players, expecting to walk to a different spot, but instead he's given an attack option, just like the one he had earlier while he was in the dungeon. Oh dear. So what just happened? You might be surprised to hear this, but no one is actually 100% sure what the cause for the open world PvP glitch was. In the years that passed, a few theories have circulated in the community. Depending on who you ask, you'll usually hear that it's something to do with either the combat ring, where being expelled from the house while you had combat enabled let you keep it, or the scrying pool, where being able to spectate somewhere else in the game turned you into an invisible player, and being expelled while using it in a PvP enabled room let you spawn there with PvP still enabled. But there's no shortage of other theories, such as it being down to a last-minute code change with the kitchen lorder. But here's the thing, Durial was by the throne room when he got kicked out, using none of those things. And Cursed You's clan party at 96 construction didn't result in the bug, despite also expelling his avid PKing friends then. And it's not like they didn't try finding one. So what gives? Well, searching for answers, I got in touch with one of the most important developers at the time, Mod Ash, to shed some light on the whole situation. Keep that name in mind, we'll be seeing more of him later. Ash didn't know for sure what the exact cause was, but he knows a lot about why it happened, and so do we. As such, we can make some pretty good guesses because of it. How the player-owned house handled combat was weird. When you had PvP challenge mode enabled in the house, it applied a variable to everyone in the house that allowed combat. Literally, a blanket variable of you can attack anyone, anywhere. You can kinda see how things went wrong now, but wait. If this variable allowed you to attack anyone, why does PvP challenge mode only work in the dungeon? That's because the house also had a second variable. If you were on the ground or upper floor, or the house didn't have a dungeon at all, the option to attack other players was hidden. A hacky solution, sure, but if you wanted to make a PvP mode that only applied in the dungeon, it definitely worked. You just had to make sure that these variables were wiped whenever you left the house. Using the portal, teleporting, logging out, the developer of the skill, Mod John A, thought of all possible ways you could leave the house, and made sure this variable was reset when you did any of them. But clearly, something was missed. Knowing what we know now, there's a good chance that this missed check has to do with a piece of high-level furniture, the Greater Magic Cage. Requiring 89 construction, and only a week after the initial release of the skill, most players had never seen one, nor interacted with it. Neither had Cursed You built it when his clanmates believed they had found a bug the day before, as shown in the image they took in the throne room during the same party. All which would explain why the bug wasn't found until now. As the cage is used to trap people, that means additional variables are applied to them, which may have muddied the water for the code. As mentioned earlier, Durial explained in an interview 3 hours after the event that he was in the throne room to check out the cage. But he's not the only one. A Swedish user on the DI forums explained only an hour after the massacre that also he could attack people after being teleported from the inside of the Greater Magic Cage. None of the JMods that actually had a part in fixing the bug knew for sure what actually caused the variable to be smuggled out of the house. Even the skill's developer explained in the RuneScape history book that he missed something, but couldn't specify what. Now, obviously, the bug can't be abused today. We're going to be talking more about that later, but to get a true understanding of the Greater Magic Cage's involvement, I made a last attempt to find the cause of the bug by messaging upload manager Mod Easty. As a Jagex employee since 2008, few JMods know the game's coded secrets better than Easty. As an upload manager, he's been in charge of implementing all code involving hotfixes and new updates since 2010. Next to this, he's had a pretty big interest in bug abuse, keeping in touch with RuneScape's bug abuse curator and learning the ways of how to break the game both internally, but also externally. Some might remember him from the Rotten Potato documentary, where Easty was shown to be in contact with the old bug abuse communities. If anyone at Jagex would be able to look up the code and find the bug, it'd be him. But even Easty couldn't say for sure. The construction code has changed a lot over the years, and the closest we can get to the original code is from August 2007, being the same code of the game used to bring back Old School. Already at that point had Jagex made several changes to avoid the massacre from ever happening again. But Easty could, after reviewing the 2007 code, make a guess at what happened in June of 2006. Hold on for this, cause we're getting a little technical now. When standing in the Greater Magic Cage and somebody pulls the lever, it traps the players inside. If the player chooses to drop them down to the dungeon, an animation plays where the player is falling. As we know, Cursed You expelled everyone from his house whilst our known PKers were in the cage. And the Swedish user did explain the cage was in the process of teleporting him when he was kicked, suggesting the animation had been activated when Cursed You hit the emergency brakes. Based on how the code worked at the time, Easty believes this caused a rare instance where two actions happen in the opposite order of what they're meant to do. Assuming Cursed You expelled everyone in the same game tick as a different player sent the trapped players to the dungeons, the game prioritizes the action activated by the player with the highest player identification number, or PID for short. In 2006, the number each player had depended on how long you had been online on a server. The longer you stayed online, the higher the number you had. And obviously, Cursed You had been online for longer than most of his party guests, making his action of expelling the guests take priority. So when hundreds of players, including the ones in the cage, spawned outside, the other action was still queued up and played directly after they all had been kicked. Since getting dropped into the dungeon would register your account as being in the dungeon, the variable saying you're on the upper floors of a house disappears, and PvP mode becomes activated. So in summary, you have a variable that turns on open world PvP, and another that stops it if you're on the ground or upper floors of a player-owned house. This is supposed to be removed when you leave the house, but the developer forgot about the Greater Magic Cage, and now you have open world PvP turned on thanks to stupidly specific circumstances. As long as you don't log out, hop worlds, or teleport, the variable stays visible. Okay, enough on mechanics. It's time to talk about the carnage. As players start dropping, panic spreads around the Remington House portal. Some people still have no idea what's going on. Others know exactly what is going on. Some players run as fast as they can, not wanting to lose their expensive items they had brought to the prestigious party. Others are just deer in headlights, unable to avert their eyes from the disaster unfolding before them. A party hat is quickly lost in the chaos to a player named Yeti90, punching his victims to death with nothing but a pair of boxing gloves. Others are dying to mere shadows, killers avoiding attention by hiding in the masses. Some of the bug abusers likely teleport or hop worlds in an attempt to make the most of this once-in-a-lifetime chance, only to wipe the variable they accidentally smuggled out. Attending player moderators sound the alarm, with their silver crowns piercing through the chat box like a sword of light dispelling the dark. They warn players to run, report the bug abusers, and beg those same abusers to stop before it's too late. Others rush to the player moderator forums to open a direct line with GELIJK, hoping to get in touch before these random killings turn into a full-fledged massacre. Meanwhile, at GELIJK's HQ, moderators Matt K, Mark R, and Murdoch make up the entirety of the community management team this evening. Having been working for just over 6 hours at this point, it wasn't long until they could finally head home, as their shift ended at 2 AM. But as the ones to deal with player moderators, they quickly noticed the reports coming in over their PMod emergency ticket system, all repeating the same warning about open world PvP.
You used to get them almost like every day or every week. You'd get something similar, which is like, oh my god, PvP's been enabled in this place. You better get there to see what's going on. So we used to get it all the time. So nobody took it seriously. And then we had about 2-3 more tickets come in. It's like, hang on a minute, probably ought to go and have a look at this.
Mod Mark R and Mod Murdoch jumps in game, teleports to Remington, and quickly discovers that the reports are entirely real. Trying to do what they can to remedy the situation, they start warning players to run away and bank their items. Ironically, this just sends more players towards the hot zones of danger when they could have just logged out and been perfectly safe that way. But it was late at night, people were panicking. None of them were prepared for a situation like this, and it was likely just as chaotic in the office as it was in Remington. While GELIJK managed to get some of the abusers, they're actually struggling to get them all. You know how you can't log out of the game until 10 seconds after combat? Turns out even GELIJK couldn't get around that requirement. And so if someone attacks a player, and then just attacks someone else within 10 seconds of their last kill, they just can't be logged out. Sure, the moment they stop, they'll be slammed by their ban, but until then, they can just go as long as they want. The Remington mask cascades into a system of predators and prey, with those expelled with the attack buttons able to murder any other player in the game, and those without unable to attack back, stuck in a non-PvP zone, only able to watch as their health ticks down until they lose everything they're carrying. With 2 J-mods unable to do anything but watch as the chaos unfolds, those with items to lose run north to the nearest bank, hoping to deposit all of their items before they're forcibly stripped of them. Some players are quick to escape, but not without trouble along the way. One of the bug abusers, Jonathan0, follows the crowd north to attack players attempting to get to safety. He gets no kills, and attempts his luck against an unsuspecting player doing a farm run. Inside Gerust's house, however, the Construction King and his friends are completely unaware of the chaos they've caused outside. They're just chilling and enjoying the afterglow of their friend's achievement. However, a lot of the reports flooding in from the PMods are name-dropping him and his party, so a scrambling staff team decided to lock his account just in case he's somehow enabling the bug.
We've got somebody in game who is causing a bug to be abused. The only way to get him to stop it is to get everybody out of his house. So we banned him. In order to stop it then and there, that's the only option you got. You can ban them or let them carry on. It's like, well, you ban them, kicks everybody from the house, and doesn't let them back in again.
So Gerust is issued a ban. He is forcibly disconnected from the game, and his house immediately closes, with all of his friends forced outside into the masses. People are dying, PMods are shouting, and even a couple J-mods are there trying to save the day. To call it a reality check is the understatement of the century. Gerust is informed about the chaos over TeamSpeak, and does a cheeky little bit of ban evasion by hopping onto his real-world trading mule account, Hidden P-Hat, to check out the situation for himself. Durial321, still in Remington, has spent the past minutes observing rather than abusing the bug. Though we know he attacked somebody in the town and discovered the variable still applied to him, it's likely he paused once the J-mods showed up. They clearly didn't know about him just yet, otherwise Durial would have been just another ban in the Remington carnage. But Brian had always been a PKer. It's the whole reason he played the game. And he'd be given the ability to attack anyone, anywhere. There was no way he was ever going to resist taking the plunge. His TeamSpeak friends, who were fully up to date on what was going on from the perspective of Durial himself, all encouraged him to keep going. But they had to be smart about it, and laid a plan to do as much damage as possible. He splits off from the crowd, also making his way north towards the nearest bank. But he's not here to deposit his valuables, he's here to bring them out. While running with the fleeing masses, he tells one of his TeamSpeak companions, P6 EMX60, to wait by the Falador Bank so he can accept some items in a trade. By this time, Johnny his old Zero had also made his way to the Falador East Bank, still attacking players in the area. After finally getting a kill, he is attacked by a different player who also has the PvP variable still applied, RuneScape Go 1, who is much better geared to fight. Jonah teleports off to escape, simultaneously ending his minutes of attention in the spotlight. As Durial arrives in the bank, RuneScape Go 1 pledges to protect the bystanding players from future killers. Little does he realize, the largest predator of them all is just a few squares away, getting ready to seize the moment all of his days in PvP had been building towards. While most players were still attacking random players in Remington, Durial and his encouraging friends were ready to abuse the bug to its fullest potential. He knew the consequences. He knew he wouldn't make it out of this unpunished, but he knew this was his chance to go down in history as a legend. He heads out of the bank and enters a trade with his waiting friend. What items did he trade, you ask? Well, we're not sure. There's no way to know what was in his inventory. It's a pretty safe bet to assume that Durial was offloading some of his most valuable items, fully expecting an incoming ban for his upcoming actions. But with both of them ending the trade with a thanks, it was time to make history. Brian and his TeamSpeak friends had laid an evil plan. While players had started to reach Falador to bank their items, no one had reached the neighboring towns. So, taking a leisurely stroll, Durial made his way to the once named Ghost Town. If he'd tried to teleport with an Amulet of Glory, he'd have lost his PvP variable, something he didn't know about but avoided by sheer luck. If he'd tried to world hop in an attempt to tear down the busy hotspots of World 2, he would have also lost the variable. There were many opportunities during the night where Durial could have easily come to an early end, and he just happened to avoid them all. And so, Durial arrived in Edgeville with a rogue variable still primed. The unsuspecting players in Edgeville thought nothing of it. People go there all the time after all. No one could have expected that this was going to be a ghost town once more. With the element of surprise on his side, Durial immediately started swinging at the players, targeting those bearing the most expensive items. PKers returning from the wilderness with hard-won spoils, Alkers barely paying attention to the game as they tore through their giant piles of items, and those displaying their obscene wealth through equipped items. As Durial's spree is going on, his friends on TeamSpeak are calling people over to Edgeville for Durial to slay. One of the unfortunate victims answering the call is Primo, a wealthy player carrying his beloved green party hat. Just seconds after he stepped foot inside Edgeville, Primo is dead. Brian is filled with adrenaline seeing the expensive paper hat appear on the ground before him, and equips the infamous green party hat that he'd wear as his spree continued. As the kills racked up, players started crowding around Durial, wondering what was going on as the killings continued. Around this point, Durial removed both a white and a yellow party hat from their previous owners. However, he was actually unable to pick up much loot for himself, as the greedy onlookers seized the opportunity to grab what they could, descending on party hats and high-level gear like the vultures that they were. Durial knew a ban was incoming. He wasn't in it for the money. He couldn't be. It was a bloodlust driven entirely by an adrenaline rush, a lust for chaos. As fearful players fled Edgeville, they made west for Falador, hoping to get away, and eager to hunt down the rich and wealthy just within his grasp, Durial gave chase. While Durial had already torn up Edgeville and is making their way to Falador from the north, players in Remington finally heed the advice of the J-mods and make their way to Falador to bank their items, having seen all the bug abusers in the area start to disappear and believing the glitch to finally be over. Even Mod Mark R and Mod Murdoch fall for this misconception, seeing a peaceful Remington and believing it's all over. Rather than following the players to Falador, they log out, believing their job to be done. Fresh blood runs to Falador from the south, running straight north in hopes of finding safety. They slam into the refugees from Edgeville, with a one-man army hot in their trail. Remington may have found peace, but that's because the chaos had all gone north. And with a mass amount of targets congregating in Falador Square, and Durial descending from the north, the stage is set for the greatest disaster RuneScape has ever seen. Anticipating what comes next, some bystanders fire up their recording software, not wanting to miss a second of what follows. And with players starting to drop like flies, more and more eyes are morbidly drawn to the madness. But those pale in comparison to the hundreds of thousands of eyes that would descend on the videos of the event over the years to come. Some of the most infamous RuneScape footage that has ever been uploaded to YouTube. For 5 long minutes, the rampage races Falador to the ground. PMods beg for players to get away and bank their items, but people are enthralled by the history in the making, and the pleas go unheard. Friends message friends to come and see, and as word spreads around the game, more and more people descend on Falador to watch the bloodshed for themselves. Within the last hour, the 1,200 players on World 111 had reached its max capacity of 2,000, with several more queuing up to get in. Mere hours earlier, this had been Cursed Use Day. It was now entirely Durial's, with a ferocious stack of people following him around, an unhinged collection of people egging him on, asking him to kill them or chanting "Dur scared" on repeat. After building up this army of followers and clearing Falador of targets, Durial decides to head back to Edgeville to take down the sneaky players who thought they'd managed to evade him. With impending doom returning to the edge of the wilderness, PMods continue to beg for help on the forums. Someone, anyone at Jagex, we need you! Well, they did have Jagex at the scene. Having realized the problem had spread further than Remington, Mod Murdoch logged back in to try and solve the problem. If he could force Durial from the game, they could slam the banhammer on him, but Durial was unbannable as long as he stayed in combat, and high on the bloodlust from the bug, he wasn't going to let enough time pass between kills to leave combat mode. With a pool of targets around him, why wait 10 seconds when you could immediately kill someone else? So Murdoch went for the second best thing Jagex could do. That is, asking Durial as kindly as possible to stop, please and thank you. If JMod powers weren't going to save the day, maybe words would. Unsurprisingly, this didn't stop Durial. However, Murdoch was hot on Durial's trail. He had to slip up eventually. There was no way he could keep up the perfect murderous pace for hours on end. And sure enough, Durial slipped up. GHJJF, who just so happened to be the leader of Cursed Use clan, DI, became Durial's last target, barely surviving next to Barbarian Village. As Durial heads dead north to Edgeville on the hunt for more victims, too much time passes before he manages to strike again. 10 seconds are quickly gone. Mod Murdoch slams the disconnect button and Durial is ejected from the game, the almighty train coming to an immediate halt. Durial hadn't been banned, however, only disconnected. Mod Murdoch were probably more concerned about getting the biggest predator offline before doing anything more complicated. Durial immediately logs back in, but with the killer variable removed by the logout, his killing spree is done for good. Durial's not stupid, he knows his time is up. So, with his last moments in Gielinor, he removes his green party hat and trades it to his longtime friend, Voodoo Legion. With his Harlequin prize in the hand of his trusted companion, Durial turns to dust, disintegrating into nothing as he is disconnected once more, with a permanent ban applied to his account. After about an hour of stress, fear and death, the infamous massacre had seemingly come to an end. But the funny thing is, Durial had managed to keep going for such a long time simply because he ran to a different town entirely to begin with. By the time the reports of Durial's rampage had made it to Jagex, the killings in Remington and southern Falador had already lasted for 20 to 30 minutes. The largest predator might have been taken down, but who knows how many other killers were still running around the game? Who knows what events haven't reached community management's ears? And who knows if it's not all about to happen again? The bug was still in the game. This was only the start of a very long night for Jagex. To say Night Shift were struggling was an understatement. One of the biggest sources of stress was to do with escalation. With no developers in the office overnight, there was no one on hand to fix the bug. Community management certainly couldn't do it. Do they hope for the best, cross their fingers that the bug doesn't become widespread with more offenders appearing and let it get fixed in the morning? Or do they nip it in the bud here and now? Well, by the time the British clocks got closer to 2 AM and the end of their shift, the call was finally made. They needed backup. Just 2 weeks prior, Andrew Gower had been the only person in the system who had permission to add hotfixes to address issues like this. But by sheer coincidence, Andrew had recently delegated this responsibility to a different employee, System Administrator Maud Slake. Slake had seized the opportunity with both hands and openly admitted that he would be more than willing to come in the moment an emergency needed him. Anyway, faced with his first emergency, Slake immediately called Andrew Gower in the middle of the night. Okay, that's a little mean to the guy. Slake was definitely up to the task and willing to do his part in stopping the problem, but while he had the permissions to deploy a hotfix, he didn't really have the technical know-how to confidently stop the glitch without breaking anything else in the process. He needed a developer's insight. Stirred at 2 AM, a tired Andrew Gower was bombarded with information about what had been happening in the game. Unprecedented problems, open world PvP, players dying in the streets. They needed someone at the office to come over and fix it immediately. Andrew, annoyed to be stirred by the very person he appointed to avoid this sort of thing, told them to deal with it themselves and gave them the number of the only other developer who had agreed to do emergency callouts. The man, the myth, the legend, Maud Ash.
The call began with, "Hi, is that Ash? Right, yeah, we understand you said you'd be willing to do some emergency call-out work. We've decided to go ahead with that plan. Frankly, I didn't actually know who it was. Didn't recognise the voice."
Ash, not recognizing the voice, was confused by the call, but agreed to come in regardless. Slake raced to Ash's house, picked up the developer and beelined to the office. With the right mind on the task, they quickly sussed out what was behind the bug. While they weren't sure how the PvP status had been smuggled out of the house, they knew it was the rogue variable that had caused the massacre. It was a bug that had existed since the release of Construction, but no one had known about it until this perfect storm. With the variable identified, it was easy to make a hotfix. Ash's hacky middle-of-the-night solution was to temporarily disable PvP in the entire game, meaning nobody could attack each other inside any POH or the wilderness until it was turned back on. He also thought to make the game just stop reading the house PvP variable completely, effectively disabling it for any players who still had it active. Without knowing how the variable was smuggled out, they simply didn't know if this was POH exclusive or if a player could do it all again by using a different source of PvP. With that done, they could fix it more elegantly in the morning. Ash just needed to make a quick check that there weren't any glaring problems in his code to ensure that it wouldn't cause a second major incident. All in all, Slake and Ash's work took them somewhere in the region of 2 hours, with the hotfix being deployed roughly around 4 AM UK time. As the party had started just after midnight, this gave a total of 4 hours from the start of the house party to the termination of the glitch. It had been a night of terror, a night of dread, a night of murder with countless bloodshed. But as Ash and Slake relaxed in their chairs, the 3 community managers now at home could enjoy a well-deserved rest. Because despite all the things the night had been, the night was finally over. Survivors of the massacre share their testimonies over all major RuneScape forums in the following hours. Long threads tell the tale of the terrors on World 111, calling it the Doomsday Massacre due to the coincidental date of 666. The rants forums are flooded by angry players demanding their items back. Chancers tried to capitalize on the opportunity and also demand their items back, even if they didn't lose anything. Some of them weren't online for it at all. Screenshots circulated the forums. DI member SOP4, also known as Sinai, uploads his footage of the event to YouTube just hours after it ended. Although YouTube was still fresh at this point, so most people preferred to share the file's download link on RapidShare instead. Durial himself replied to posts on RuneScape community, in later years known as the Zybes forums, explaining some of his perspective of the entire event. His appearance on such a popular forum made it rather easy for people to get in touch with him. Players started to reach out, wanting their items back, but Durial was in no position to return them even if he wanted to. However, in a cruel twist of fate, Durial checks in with Voodoo Legion a few hours later, asking for his green party hat back on a different account, only for Voodoo Legion to refuse, sever all ties with Durial, and end their years-long friendship over some money in an online game. The legendary green party hat was sold just a few hours later, shamelessly swapped for a yellow party hat and a Santa hat, with Voodoo keeping the yellow for himself and gifting the Santa hat to a friend he clearly cared about more than Brian. Learning of the legendary figure at the heart of the massacre, a writer from Tippett called The Rat got in touch with Durial through the RSC forums about 3 hours after the massacre had ended. Requesting an interview, Durial gleefully accepts, with a transcript of their conversation being posted in a Tippett forum thread titled The Falador Massacre, or the Falidor Massacre to be exact. This was the first time the event was referred to by this name, and due to the heavy traffic the site would see over the next few days, it quickly became the official name and the one that has stuck through all these years. Emerging from the ashes 3 hours after the massacre was Cursed You. Andrew Gower had eventually gotten up to check on what was going on, and upon looking at the bans for the night, noticed that Cursed You wasn't maliciously involved with the bug. There was no reason to keep him banned, so they left their law-abiding construction king back in to continue his RuneScape adventures. This didn't sit right with some of the staff, who despite agreeing that he had nothing to do with the bug, could see a range of alt accounts in Cursed You's possession with suspicious activity in the real-world trading market, but nothing enough to issue a ban, placing his account under surveillance going forward. The bug hadn't been properly fixed yet, mind you, but it was now close to the start of the workday in the UK, and all hands were on deck once more. It's an odd morning for the staff, as they're met by the garbage fire that started blazing overnight. The community outrage is at an all-time high. A horrific glitch is being held back by a patchwork fix, and they all slept through one of the most significant events in RuneScape history. With Jagex being made up mostly of young developers and fresh faces in the industry, it's an unusual and exciting day for them. They've never seen anything like this before. Regardless, they get to work on properly fixing the bug. Andrew Gower, upset that such an event happened in the first place, admonishes his team for not partaking in safer coding practices. During this conversation, he realizes that the in-house programming language, RuneScript, doesn't really have an easy way to check if a player is in a specific location or not. Sure, there are some hacky ways around it, but it leads to stuff like the 2 separate variables for house PvP, which led to the bug anyway. So Andrew just goes away and quickly codes up an entirely new system for the game to fix this. With the new code, it's now possible to check what instance a player is in alongside what coordinates they're standing on, and so the team ensures that all variables which enable PvP also check that the player is standing in the intended place. Wilderness PvP only works in the wilderness, house PvP only works in a house. You get the picture. Even if you smuggled these variables out somewhere, they wouldn't do anything since you weren't in the correct place. There would never be a disaster of this type or scale ever again. Additional fixes have been made over the years to ensure bugs of similar nature truly cannot happen. Though unrelated to the massacre, the PID system was changed in 2013 to now be in a random order rather than based on who had been online the longest, meaning bug abusers can no longer rely on their actions being prioritized in the system. Other bugs related to the POH and variables have also been fixed in later years, which all in all creates a stack of safety checks before you even touch the ground when you leave a player-owned house. Jagex has basically built a fortress of protection around the bug they couldn't identify for so many years. Having proved himself with his 11th hour aid, Slake gives Mod Ash special permission to deploy hotfixes to the game without requiring a system admin such as Slake to push it through for him. While Mod Ash tends to get a lot of the credit for stopping the massacre, Slake was equally important in saving the day. After all, Slake was the admin on call. He was the one who drove to Ash's house and the office, and the one who pushed the hotfix through. Without him, there was nothing Ash could have done in this situation. But as a last, just as important major change, players could now be banned even if they're busy smacking down people in PvP. As for the people, Paul Garrett took to the rants forum with some terrible news for the players. Apologizing profusely to all of them, there was nothing they could do for the victims. The system wasn't able to perform a rollback at this time, returning everyone to their state just before the killings, and there was no way they would be able to issue item refunds, as Jagex did not keep a backup of that sort of data, and legitimate requests were being drowned out by a sea of people trying to get free stuff. No one would be getting anything back at all. Imagine permanently losing your best gear and not getting it back solely because some kids were trying to scam the system in wake of a huge tragedy. I know I'd be upset. The discussion on the days following the massacre saw people go back and forth between despising and supporting Durial. Some players felt a rollback was the right solution, with his ban being reversed alongside it. I mean, who could resist such a tempting glitch? Everyone would go around and kill as many people as they could if given the chance, right? Others thought the ban was justified, given he had exploited one of the most serious bugs the game had ever seen, and knowingly went around murdering people to steal their expensive items. While Durial was permanently gone from the game, Cursed You was back in business and enjoyed a reasonable status as an online celebrity following the massacre. Despite not taking part in it at all, his name was forever connected to it and everyone knew him. However, he was far from a golden child and received another mute just a few weeks later in July 2006, for reasons unrelated to the massacre. Even in the evidence report, you can see a player calling him a legend. Must have been a nice ego boost for the 16-year-old. Pride comes before the fall, however, and with Jagex actively monitoring his account, only 2 months passed after that fateful night before Cursed You pushed things too far. Or rather, I should say Cursed You, since it was Josh playing on Lincoln's account. While Lincoln was at school, Josh started to brag about real-world trading on the account, while also attempting to sell gold. The ensuing report alerted Jagex to Cursed You's long and shady history on the topic, and so the account was permanently banned for real-world trading on August 26, 2006. Despite being banned, Cursed You still stood his ground that what he did on his account was a solo mission, claiming what ultimately nailed his coffin was actions done by an intelligent account hijacker. With both Lincoln and Brian removed from the game, the story of the stars of the Falador massacre came to a swift close. Okay, that's not quite true. While the Durial account was permanently banned, that didn't stop Brian from playing RuneScape. Durial321 was never to be let back into the game, with Andrew Gower even leaving a note on the account in the internal system saying it should never be unbanned. One of the only 4 known account notes he ever left in the system during his 10-year tenure at Jagex. But even if Durial was gone, Brian did have other accounts to play on. Gifted as in Boy763 from a friend, Durial was able to jump straight back into the game without having to start the long and monotonous grind from scratch. Jagex did also add a note to this account, connecting it to Durial321, but decided to let it slide since it wasn't breaking any rules. I mean, other than ban evasion and account trading, but hey, who's counting? His new account wasn't a well-kept secret either, sharing the username on a fan site he made for himself. Getting the status as an iconic player in the world's largest MMO at age 16 must have been awfully exciting for Brian. He continued to be a part of Evolution up until February 2008, when he attempted to join a new clan of dastardly villains and terrifying PKers, Reign of Terror. Durial didn't last much longer, however, as he eventually quit the game sometime in 2009 and has not been an active player ever since, as far as we know. As for Jagex, they tried their best to avoid acknowledging the massacre for several years. After all, the incident was essentially a major case of bug abuse. It was a failing on their end, and to give it any credence would just be glorifying rule breaking and encouraging future offenders. But time heals all wounds, and those personally affected by the massacre moved on with their lives, either rebuilding their accounts or leaving the game for greener pastures. Avoiding the topic was the official stance right up until RuneFest 2014, at which point Jagex decided to start talking about it in preparation for the RuneScape documentary. It was still something of an awkward topic though. With the rise of mass shootings over the years, as Jagex started to bring it up, they had to make sure they never glorified it. Staff members who had dealt with active shooter incidents in real life never found Falador Massacre jokes to be funny, so they knew how sore it could be for some community members. But still, it's one of the most significant cultural events in RuneScape history. People who've never touched the game have heard of it. Whether you like it or not, it left a permanent mark on the game right in the middle of its golden years. In 2016, on the 10-year anniversary, Jagex decided to fully commit to acknowledging the incident by adding an in-game event that recreated Cursed You's infamous house party, followed by a giant Durial321 miniboss that players could fight together. Even Old School held an anniversary event, opening up a temporary World 666 where players could engage in open world PvP in Falador without it affecting their accounts on the regular worlds. Jagex even added a new song, Massacre, to play on this temporary world, bearing a striking resemblance to Nightwish's Planet Hell but in the OSRS sound font. As Planet Hell was the background song for the most well-known YouTube footage of the massacre, many players associated with the event, and to this day, all the top comments on the YouTube upload of the song are about RuneScape. Jagex also outsourced a gaming company to create a simple game for Facebook titled The Falador Massacre. Described as a top-down view of Falador as it appears in Old School, you'd have 3 minutes playing as Durial321 to get as many kills as possible. NPCs posing as players would pop in from all directions wearing different items, awarding a variety of points depending on the item. Unfortunately, Facebook wasn't too fond of releasing a game holding the word massacre, and thus was rejected and never released. In the years after Durial left the game, his details were somehow shared online, likely as a result of one of the many leaks of the Zybes forum database, allowing imposters to log on and pretend that they were the PKing legend in disguise. This tricked various content creators into making videos about them, some of which have since been taken down. Many streamers have also claimed that they were actually Durial321 returning to the game, but these were all fakers trying to use the name to boost their audience. Cursed You also eventually returned from the land of the dead, sneaking back into RuneScape under the inconspicuous name Cursed You. See, 2 S's, it's totally a different guy. I bet the second S stands for secret. Anyway, he streamed consistently for about a year, uploading several YouTube videos during this time, releasing some never-before-seen screenshots from the construction grind. He got in touch with the Jagex moderators and some content creators, sharing his stories before fading away once more, joining Brian in the greener pastures that lie in the world outside of online gaming. Wherever the two of them may be now, they leave behind a legacy that will forever be a part of RuneScape history, gaming history, and all of the players that were there on that fateful day. Thank you all so much for watching this deep dive into RuneScape's most famous bug of all time. It's kind of funny thinking that, even after all these years, we never fixed the actual bug that caused the massacre. They only added workarounds to stop it happening again. Far down in the code, that bug is still there, and honestly might always be there inside RuneScape for the rest of its life. If that isn't a poetic metaphor for the legacy of the massacre, I don't know what is. Anyway, I really hope you've all enjoyed this video. Until next time, my name is Will Missit, and I'll see you all later.
Alright. Dat was het. Dan gaan we terug over naar de gewone RS. Alright. Dat is weer een update complete. We gaan terug naar Fallador. Want er is nog tijd over. Nu een half ongeveer. Voor de volgende update. Alright. En ik had ondertussen een paai gekregen. Wat jullie misschien hadden gehoord. Maar goed. Let's go. Heeft er nog iemand iets gezegd in de chat? Nee. Oh, handig. Alright. Wat moeten we doen? Eens kijken nou. Even naar onze restricties gaan. Dit mag groen gemaakt worden. Die hebben we nu bekeken. Dat wil zeggen dat heel onze void groen mag. En de volgende geactiveerd mag worden. We moeten even naar Farok. En de rest mag ook even gebankt worden. Even denken hoor. Normaal gezien moet ik alleen maar de body helm, body en legs. Wacht, we gaan dat even zo doen. Hoppakee. Joink.
Yes, happy smiley.
Bronze plate body.
To match with Sierra.
Bronze.
Tongue poking smiley.
Iron. Plate body. Iron. Full helm. Iron plate legs. Steel. Steel plate legs. En dan black. Back black. Black plate body. Black plate legs. Mithril. Full helm. Adamant en Rune nog.
Alright, I got a bounce. Peace you.
Good luck, D.
Oko, thank you for dance. TYTY winking smiley. Good luck at Callisto. Thank you.
Ja. En plate leggings.
Open-mouthed laugh smiley, I can't help it.
Dan nog Rune.
Can you convince my friends to come skill with me?
Rune plate body.
Loco.
I love experience wasting.
Come skill with me.
Plate legs.
How about I make an alt for dancing?
Alles is gekocht behalve de brons plate. Nee, oké, we gaan eens iets anders proberen. Brons. Zo dan.
Wait, I have a dance. Loco at this.
I will take a small break. Self want a centoa after.
Dan doen we het zo toch? Oh ja, we moeten ook onze muziek aanzetten. Oké. Hoppakee. Was toch alles, hè? Ja. Goed, poem. Games necklace. Even snel. Rip naar. Hoppakee. Goed, we zijn in de Warriors Guild geweest. De Armory. Wat zie je?
Greetings, fellow. I'm afraid you have not earned any tokens yet. Okay, I'll go see what I can find.
De foodshop is hier. En de... was de potions trouwens. Dat is de... Ik ga eens even naar boven, want die armory, dat weet ik niet. Hè? Volgens mij is er nog iets anders. Hier is de armory. Dat mag groen. Maar praten.
Can you?
What can I do here?
What can I do here?
The shot put is a great test of strength and can be quite rewarding. Mind you do it properly though. You might want to dust your hands with some powdery substance first. It'll give better grip. I personally prefer ground ashes. It makes a nice fine powder and gives some really good grip.
Okay, what else?
Basically you'll need to go in there, make sure you have got nothing cluttering up your hands, pick up a shot and throw it. Depending upon your technique, you can...
Oh ja, maar dat is niet wat ik zocht, maar goed. Oh, dat is daar. Never mind.
To balance kicks you will need your head and hands free.
Net.
To balance kicks you will need your head and hands free.
Ja, oh, ook geen gloves. En ik moet er zo 5 stacken of zo. Morkeg.
Ouch.
Oh, ja, daar. Of course. Eén. 2. 3.
Ouch.
Nou, 3 kunnen we al afvinken.
Ouch.
Oh my god.
Ouch.
Daar is er ook nog één.
Ouch.
4.
Ouch.
Ja, 4 dan. 4 van de 5. Dat was speciaal. Ah, fuck it. Ja. Oké, laat maar zijn. Laat maar. We laten nog wel eens proberen. Warriors Tokens Defense Shield. Dat gaan we nu doen. Pest in slot. Wij gaan voor een pest in slot. Moet ik eerst niet met die gozer praten?
Hello there.
May I have a shield, please?
Oké, dat
Of
is...
course.
Defense Shield. Bingo.
You will need to make sure your sword hand is free to equip this shield.
Watch out. You'll need to equip the shield as soon as you're on the target spot, else you could get hit. Speak to me to get one, and make sure both your hands are free to equip it.
En Phil? En Phil? Een check. Step. En done.
Hello there. I'm Ganfred, the engineer in this.
May I claim?
Of course.
Thanks.
Hoppa, dat is ook al eentje klaar. Warriors token. Deze nog vergeten.
To throw the shot you need your hands free.
Well done. You threw the shot 7 yards.
Right, dat is de 18. Hoppa. Schijnbaar kun je dat dus niet meer zien. En nu gaan we deze ook nog eens proberen, want dat zou die andere moeten zijn. Hetzelfde, spin. En dat is inderdaad de...
You threw the shot 6 yards.
Hoppa. Het ding is wel, ik vind hier geen ground ashes.
May I claim my tokens, please? Thanks.
Dus ik weet niet wat we daaraan kunnen geraken, maar... as en dan, oké. Goed, terug naar beneden. Want dan gaan we wat beestjes killen. Use. Hierop.
You place your armor on the platform where it disappears. The animator hums, something appears to be working.
Alright. Dat is de bronzen. Dat zijn allemaal weeke beestjes.
You place your armor on the platform where it disappears. The animator hums, something appears to be working. You place your armor on the platform where it disappears. The animator hums, something appears to be working.
$15 tokens. Discord gaat af als ik het heb gekild. Wauw. Ik ga wel een beetje voet halen. Oké.
You place your armor on the platform where it disappears. The animator hums, something appears to be working.
Goed. De stier heb ik ook gekild trouwens. Game. Token.
You place your armor on the platform where it disappears. The animator hums, something appears to be working.
Deze heb ik altijd gekild, dacht ik. En dat was Metro. En dan Elements, Use.
You place your armor on the platform where it disappears. The animator hums, something appears to be working.
En die manier niet, grappig. Ja, die ging ook nog redelijk. En nu de one and only Rune
You place your armor on the platform where it disappears. The animator hums, something appears to be working.
Ja, die doet wel damage. $40 tokens wel. Eens kijken, is het nu beter om Adamant te killen? 30 tokens, ja. Adamant is beter om te killen. Dus gaan we dat doen.
You place your armor on the platform where it disappears. The animator hums, something appears to be working.
Ik denk 3000 puntjes zal genoeg zijn.
You place your armor on the platform where it disappears. The animator hums, something appears to be working.
Het is grappig, hè? Ik had hier niemand is. Ik had het veel drukker verwacht. Je gaat er nog voor een defender, I guess. Dat ding zit te liegen natuurlijk, want... Ja, dat dacht ik dus al. Die telt al die armors bij elkaar.
You place your armor on the platform where it disappears. The animator hums, something appears to be working.
Amazing. Durial is net ingelogd.
You place your armor on the platform where it disappears. The animator hums, something appears to be working. You place your armor on the platform where it disappears. The animator hums, something appears to be working.
$25, niet slecht.
You place your armor on the platform where it disappears. The animator hums, something appears to be working. You place your armor on the platform where it disappears. The animator hums, something appears to be working.
Damn. Hey, Kylie. Alright, terug de helm erop.
You place your armor on the platform where it disappears. The animator hums, something appears to be working.
Ah, het werkt prima. Hoppakee. Joink. Het ding gaat gewoon af om als ik elke keer een element plate body krijg als drop.
You place your armor on the platform where it disappears.
Ik mag eindelijk een defender halen.
Something appears to be working.
We hebben alles kunnen halen. Van wat is het? Playground House. Void hebben we ook gehaald. En nu mogen we beginnen aan onze defenders. Even een Turian message. Dit, de Void Night. Story of the Falador. I'm at Warriors Guild.
You place your armor on the platform where it disappears. The animator hums.
Misschien moet ik toch beter met Mithril gaan killen, want ze doen toch wel wat damage. Ik had gewoon net veel geluk. Oh, Jesus man. Ja, oké, dat wordt net zoals vroeger. Met Mithril. Ik krijg te veel damage op mijn kop. Dat is sowieso. Nou ja, het was leuk, de construction update. Maar je moet gewoon zoveel grinden en En het slechte nieuws is, Kylie. Er komt nog een update dat ik alles 99 moet halen. Dus dan moet ik weer aan construction beginnen. Nou, gelukkig wel vanaf 94. Maar dan moet ik het naar 99 brengen. En dan ben ik er volledig vanaf. Dan hoef ik geen grindwerk niet meer te doen. Maar ik zou blij zijn dat allemaal dan is. Heb ik nog een Mithril platebody ergens staan in mijn bankje? Ja, klopt. Voor een clue scroll misschien geweest. Zo, ik hoop nu als ik geen food moet gebruiken dat het gewoon constant. Overal komt er een aan Kali. De harde grinds.
You place your armor on the platform
En dan komt er een makkelijke grind.
The animator hums. Something appears to be
Wanneer is dat? Binnen een update of 10. We zitten nu op... Ja, trouwens, ik moet deze oranje maken. 13 juni 2006. En de grote 99 Questcape skill is er op 18 oktober 2006. Maar dat is zeker. Dit is updates 166, waar ik nu ben. 152. Dus wat is dat? 24 updates? Nog? Ja, zoiets. 24 updates. Als ik goed heb geteld.
You place your armor on the platform where it
ja,
disappears.
deze grind is ook niet echt lang, hè. Er staan Rune Defenders. Wat hebben we dan nog? Quest. Oh ja, Trouble Brewing komt eraan. Over 2 weken of zo. Dat is ook nou niet echt een update.
You place your armor on the platform where it disappears. The animator hums. Something appears to be working.
Maar dat komt goed. Stronghold of Security, ook jeugdsentiment. Dat is een leuke. Ja, dit is ook leuk. Vind ik zelf. Gewoon even tokens verzamelen.
You place your armor on the platform where it disappears. The animator hums. Something appears to be working.
Ja, quest is sowieso leuk. Security. Fairy rings. Oh ja. Fairy rings, daar kunnen we overal naartoe zonder Laurens. Oh, quality of life. Pyramidplunders. Goeie voor thieving XP. Ik denk zelfs een van de beste. Alhoewel, Blackjack is misschien iets beter dan Pyramidplunder. Ook een funny minigame.
You place your armor on the platform where it disappears. The animator hums. Something appears to be working.
Lunar Diplomacy. Nieuwe magie. Crossbows. Lange grind, want je moet elke bolt gaan maken. En nu heb ik het gevoel dat dat muziekje echt wel irritant begint te worden.
You place your armor on the platform where it disappears. The animator hums. Something appears to be working.
Wat hebben we nog? Gnome restaurant. Oh, voor mijn sjaal. Oh ja, mijn sjaaltje. Dat wil ik. Dan hebben we nog een quest als we die Crystal Saw krijgen voor de construction. Niet dat het nog uitmaakt, maar ik heb toch wat food nodig soms. Oh, dan hebben we weer een speciaal. Dan hebben we ons handboek. Maar dat is het ongeveer. Ik moet alles van Trouble Brewing halen wat gereleased is. Dus ja. Ik denk dat dat heel de set is. Want er is geen expansion gekomen op Trouble Brewing.
You place your armor on the platform where it disappears. The animator hums, something appears to be working.
Je moet toch wat meer food gaan halen, zo te zien. Maar ja, minder kans op gegeten worden. Of zou we per 1000 gaan? We gaan per 1000. Op goed geluk. Ik ga eerst vol een bak food halen. Ik weet toch als ik straks zonder zit. Heb ik hier nog. Kijk eens aan, neemt hij die eens mee. Dan zijn ze ook op. Manta race blijkt nog wat bewaren, want het zijn de beste die ik heb. En alles van dit. Hoppa. Dat duurt zo lang. Ik weet het. Ja, ze hebben inderdaad een update gedaan dat het een beetje makkelijker zou zijn. Maar geen andere rewards of zo, zoals bij Castle
Place
Wars.
your armor on the platform where it disappears. The animator hums, something appears to be working.
Dus ja, prima. Ik ga nog wel eens kijken hoor, want we zijn er nog niet. We moeten eerst onze scepter halen. Nog van Stronghold of Security. Een free-to-play update nog eens. Heel lang geleden. Zou we dan naar free-to-play world gaan? Voor de nostalgie? Of zou ik gewoon in members gaan? Use.
You place your armor on the platform where it disappears. The animator hums, something appears to be working.
Het zou best kunnen. Ja, voor mij is dat geen probleem, want mijn flashing is al 99. Toen het gereleased was, dacht ik van, oh ja, ik ga het gewoon even naar 99 trainen. Waarom niet?
You place your armor on the platform where it disappears. The animator hums, something appears to be working.
Oh, it's working alright. Oh, hier is iemand. Leuk. Ik zie ook dat mijn armor een beetje gedamaged is. Wat kun jij allemaal trainen in Trouble Brewing? Ik dacht je cooking, fletching en nog iets. Bepaalde skills. Niet dat veel is, maar... Ik denk dat het beste is om bij Trouble Brewing gewoon eerst het duurste item te halen.
On the platform where it disappears.
En zo stapjes
The
omlaag.
animator hums, something appears to be working.
Nou ja, en ik heb mijn firecapeje gehaald. Dat was voor mij een goede dag. Wanneer was dat? Gisteren, dacht ik. Gisteren nog. Echt uit het niks van, ik zat mijn slave te trainen en ik dacht van, ik heb zin om chat nog eens te proberen killen. En het was gelukt.
Greetings, Yugos and Smooth.
Oh,
Welcome,
ja.
you are in the test of combat.
Dankjewel, ja, het zal wel. Doei. Ben ik zo fier op mijn firecape?
You place your armor on the platform where it disappears. The animator hums,
Ja, dat wel.
something appears to be working.
Dat zou een goede manier zijn om hem te greenloggen. Moesten ze dat daar doen. Maar dan heb je ook slimme mensen die kopen die Pirate Hat gewoon in GE en dan kunnen ze ingeven voor tokens, I guess. Want sommige dingen zijn tradable.
You place your armor on the platform where it disappears. The animator hums, something appears to be working.
Laat maar werken. We hebben er bijna 1000. Jet was zeker een update, maar die kost ik niet halen. Toen, in 2005. Want dan had ik geprobeerd. Dat is mijn eerste YouTube video die up was. Of nee, de tweede.
You place your armor on the platform where it disappears.
Die op YouTube stond.
The animator hums, something appears to be
en
working.
ik ging gewoon al dood bij wave 30 of zo. Dus dat kwam niet goed. Dus dan dacht ik van, ja, ik heb mijn best gedaan. We skippen die eventjes. En dat was gisteren gelukt. Sommige dingen moet je soms eens offstream doen. En gewoon even makkelijk zitten. Proberen te halen. Lekker geconcentreerd.
You place your armor on the platform where it disappears. The animator hums, something appears to be working.
Oh, it's working, don't worry. Voor heb ik nu 860. En nog een paar kills. Alles was een update eigenlijk, hè? Als je juist wil zijn. Auw, in oog.
You place your armor on the platform where it disappears.
Ik begon gewoon met de basis en dat was zelfs nog geen Draenor. Daar begon je mee. Met Lumbridge, Falador, Varrock, die dingen ongeveer. Smithing was er. Attack, Strength Defense, Range, Prey, Magic. HP, of course. Crafting nog niet. Mining, smithing, cooking, woodcutting en firemaking. En de rest bestond allemaal niet. En zo heb ik mijn eerste update dus gedaan. Helemaal toen, dat was alleen nog maar op Twitch.
You place your armor on the platform where it disappears.
En zo
The animator hums,
op maar een stapje verder. De rest was allemaal een update. Als je het logistiek wilt bekijken, of hoe moeten we het noemen, was elk dingetje wat erbij kwam een update. Maar de meeste dingen hebben echt wel allemaal gedaan. Het zijn allemaal kleine dingetjes. Bad and Good Magic had je inderdaad. Of Black and White Magic. Maar inderdaad, zo noemde het dat.
You place your armor on the platform where it disappears. The animator hums.
Maar dan is dat gewoon één dingetje geworden. Maar natuurlijk, nu kun je dat niet meer scheiden van elkaar. Bad en of Black en Good, of weet ik veel wat het allemaal was. Dus dan noemen we gewoon dat Magic.
You place your armor on the platform where it disappears. The animator hums, something appears to be working.
Herblore stond er ook bij, maar dat werkte niet, dacht ik. Of was dat Agility? Nee, dat was Herblore. Maar die is er pas bijgekomen wanneer dat RS2 er was.
You place your armor on the platform where it disappears. The animator hums, something appears to be working.
Auw. Ah, we hebben genoeg. We gaan eens proberen voor onze bronzen defender. Ja, wel de deur open doen, slimmerik. Hoppakee. De eerste grind gaat beginnen. Moet die eigenlijk moet ik ze niet panken. Hoppakee, we gaan er gewoon naartoe. Hoppa, dat is hier nog eens naar boven. Yes. Met deze dame
Why,
praten.
hello there. I'm Camfrina. Like the look of my pets? I think they are eyeing you up.
That was a really bad pun.
Oh ja.
No.
Oh, right.
Gewoon erin gaan?
Well, since you haven't shown me a defender to prove your prowess as a warrior,
Yes.
I'll release some cyclopes which might drop bronze defenders for you to start off with, unless you show me another.
Goed
Have
zo.
fun in there.
Cyclops killen. En dat is... Dan moet ik weer even terug naar mijn huidige update. Zijn er 2 verschillende? Oh ja. Maakt niet uit. Cyclops is Cyclops. Hoppa, 1. Even het chat in de gaten houden. Dit is echt een rustig randje gewoon, jongen. Lekker. Kom voor brons. Ik weet niet hoeveel kans had je erbij. 1 op. Defender. 1 op 50. Oh. En als je zo'n sterk beest afmaakt, is dat ook nog altijd 1 op 50. Ja, dus maakt niet uit. Hoppakee. Maar je weet er precies ook al redelijk van, Kylie. Misschien ook meegemaakt of ook wat research gedaan naar hoe het vroeger was. Ah, nee. Slecht reward. Ik kom hier wel voor 1 ding. Ik ben net alweer aan een drop is. Het zou leuk zijn als ik hem al vroeger kreeg, maar... Ik twijfel eraan. Hoeveel kosten die knives? Nee, niet veel. Money. Krijg je vol een bak kloppen. Komt dat erop wat? Weet ik nou niet. Is dat een collection log? Die defenders? Dat zou zomaar kunnen. Old school RuneScape. Defender Collection Log. Schijnbaar vindt hij dat wel. Zo moet ik gewoon alleen maar luisteren. Wat is echt Collection Log, snap? Waar staan jullie? Blood clues. Oh, er valt dit onder minigames zeker? Shit. Hier zo, ja. Is een collection log slot. Dus gewoon blijven killen tot als we het horen. Sure. Big bone. Large bone. Ook goed. Zeg het. 1 op 50. Nou, we zitten op 20. Niks. Verdorie. Die big bone. Is ook 1 op. Large bone. 1 op 400. Wauw. We beginnen een beetje droog te geraken. What did I do? Oh. Dat is dat ding. Ja, ik heb dus een plugin geïnstalleerd, Missing Clue. En schijnbaar had ik dus clue gemist. Als je hem niet krijgt, dan als je alleen in de bank hebt staan. Nummer 33 al. Hij mag hoor. Slecht ziet. Wat nu? Knives, niet nodig. Met het woord 2 al. Normaal is hier nog 10. Nog 5 kills. Vier. Gaat het ondrop zijn?
Collection logs locked. Completed.
A screenshot was saved to c:/tom/users/tom/dot/runelite/e/collections/yogozunswu/collection log. Bronze
I have a bronze defender, please let me in to kill some more cyclopes.
Bronze there. The next cyclopes are ready. Toddle in when you're ready.
Mooi. Volgende Iron Defender. Okay. Probeer nog voor een iron. En dan gaan we het even laten, joh. Wauw, -1, serieus? Oké, nog altijd geen collection op slot. Metrobrekker. Dat moet je niet hebben. Ik wil mijn defender hebben. Hoezo? We hebben er al 83. Mooi. Super. Hij mag wel eens poppen. We zitten bijna al op 85, nog 15 dan. Gewoon slaapverwekkend. Weg je. Maar staat er eigenlijk niet op, hè, als ik een clue zou cleanen. Dat zijn hard clues. Hoe groot is die kans al? Hard clues. Ik heb er al 2 gehad, toch? Ik loop bijna droog. Gewoon een spekje op zijn kop. Ik ben droog. Oh no. Overkill. Uncut diamonds, thanks.
Collection logs Laat.
Oh, dankjewel.
Completed.
A screenshot was saved to c:\users\tom/runelite/screenshots/yogos.
I have an iron defender. Please let me in to kill some more cyclopes.
Wow, iron The next cyclopes are ready. Toddle in when you're ready.
Alright. Gaan we de volgende keer doen. Alright. Goed. Zo, dan gaat de muziek terug af. En dan gaan we het hierbij laten, jongens. Ja. Dan zou ik zeggen, vergeet geen like te geven op deze livestream. Als je tenminste op YouTube zit. En te abonneren. En als je abonneert, dan vergeet niet op klok te drukken voor de notificatie. Als er een nieuwe livestream of een video is hier op Tom Nausket. En voor de mensen op Twitch, vergeet niet te volgen. En dan krijgen jullie ook een notificatie. Of join de Discord, wat ergens beneden staat. Een linkje naar mijn Discord. Als je ook een notificatie daar krijgt wanneer ik live ben. Dus jongens, volgende week gaan we hiermee verder. Ik ga misschien off-cam nog wel een paar tokens halen. 3000 of 30.000, I don't know. Het ging redelijk. Dus dan zie ik jullie de volgende keer weer. Mooie defender. Maar we komen nog upgrades tegen dat verder gaat. Dus voorlopig, bye bye. Hey doei, bye bye.